together. And so I'm so glad that you can join us, Dr. Willie, and just share a little bit about what that journey, what's happening inside your clinic, and the other physicians that you're sharing it with.
Hey guys, so just made it on. Had a dead phone. We were out in the middle of the bay, um, and we're trying to rush back. We got done just in time and got docked and got back. So thanks for having me on. I'll try to make sure we had that meeting yesterday and we kind of talked about the two origin stories that we're going to be talking about at that next conference. And what's really cool about the lactic is that I've been approached with it about a year ago, and I had been using it. I'd been using it myself. I'd been using it personally, and loved it, and was using it mainly in the very beginning um, just for athletes. I kind of had a single mindedness that it was just going to be for athletes and for athletic performance and recovery, and so I was just kind of sparingly sharing it. But even then, was getting amazing results from my Olympic lifters and CrossFitters and high rocks. I mean, you name it. Every single athlete that moves weight or runs or just has any type of training, their recovery and performance was just immediately improved. Um, we were kind of back and forth as far as how to build the company or grow the company, and the company kept kind of stalling out as far as the company side. Um, and that is when it just so happened it was just a simple share. Bill came in to see me, and I had been seeing him for a few years for kind of just wellness and longevity. And when he was there that day, you could tell he was kind of, a little downtrodden, and he was just basically saying, "Look, um, I'm done." He's like, I'm sitting at about an 8 or 9 out of 10 pain every single day. I don't sleep." You've heard his story probably multiple times, and basically the radiation from the cancer had fused in the simplest terms, his cervical vertebrae, and causing a lot of pain and tightness in the neck, and he was just done. And so he says, "Look, I'm done. Do you have anything for me? Do you have an injection, like just something, anything?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I have this gel." I said, "You can try it." And then I kind of told him a little bit about it and what it did, and just shared it with him. Um, Literally the next day, I get a text from Bill, and he says, "First off," and I remember it verbatim. He said, "First off, let you know that I'm not a placebo guy." He goes, "I'm the last guy that anybody wants to try a new product on because it generally doesn't work on me." He says, "But I will tell you that like 5 minutes after putting it on, I had no pain, and I slept well, and there's a little bit more to the story because like he was kind of just hesitant himself, and actually Deborah, his wife, made him put it on. So huge thanks to Deborah. But the next thing was what is kind of in essence launched the company. And he said, "So tell me more about the company. How can I get involved with the company?" And I had known Bill, I had known Deborah, but I knew that they were, let's just say, well off, wealthy. I didn't know, just because of anybody that knows Bill, the humility that he carries. So he's very unassuming. You would never ever know that he's accomplished what he has accomplished by the way he carries himself and the way he treats people. But I never knew the extent of his influence and wealth, right? So I was like, "Oh, that was okay. I'll share the info with you with Kevin." So I reached out to Kevin, and I just said, "Hey, I'd like you to meet this guy, and he'd really like to be he's interested in the company." So all I did was get a text later from Kevin, and he said, "Thanks for the intro. Great guy. I think we found our missing piece." And that's all I got. That's all I got. So a couple of days later, Bill texts me, and he says, "So I'm no longer retired." He says, I'm helping, the company move forward with finance. And I'm getting involved at, the financial level, and I've just became their largest investor, and I'm going to take this company to the world." And I was just like, wow. It's that's just from sharing it, just, but that goes back to the power of just from a healthcare practitioner standpoint. um and just anybody, you don't have to be a healthcare practitioner. You never know who you're going to share it with and who has the influence, and who, and especially when you share it with somebody with a pure intent of helping someone. Okay, and that's all it is. That's all it is. It's literally, I have this thing. It's a unique product. I've never seen anything like it. As far as what it does, and the ease of use, right? So from a medical standpoint, what I love about it, is that I don't have to worry as a practitioner. There's no contraindications. There's no medical interactions. We look at everything in medicine as a risk benefit ratio. So, if it has a lot of benefit, low risk, then it's a go. If it's very high risk with maybe some benefit, it's probably a no go. This is a full go because it literally is. There's no downside. It's literally an amino acid. So it doesn't matter if it's a child all the way up to an elderly. Everybody can benefit from it just because of our lifestyles, because of our lifestyle. The majority of the patients that I see are metabolically compromised. You know, apart from the hormonal dysfunction or menopause or andropause that men are experiencing, or any of the ravages of aging that they're experiencing. um, Everybody is, I would say everybody, 80% or more of the people are not eating a proper diet, not following a proper lifestyle, not, so, it is, it's a very, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a very important component. And it's just a huge component in overall health and wellness. And this is the easiest modality to just help anybody. You don't have to. I mean, the ease of use is very simple. They literally just apply it topically. So you don't have to be an expert to share it. It is just share away, because I just haven't seen anybody yet that hasn't seen some sort of benefit, in whether it's large or small, and the majority of the results have been huge. So that's just like my short take on it. I mean, I can talk on and on and on the specifics of it and what it does. That's mainly what we'll be going over at the this first big conference in Salt Lake City. But if anybody has any questions or anything, and be happy to answer.
How big do you feel that this product is in our marketplace as far as people, and how special is Lactigo, like, really in a product standpoint? And have you ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah, that's how I was about to answer. I've never seen anything like it before. It's very unique. People always ask me, "Well, this thing is so great. How come we've never heard about it?" Because the technology has not been there. It's a unique technology. That's what sets it apart. We've known about carnosine for 100 years, over 100 years. The athletic performance studies have been done since the 50s and on. The metabolic studies have been done since the 80s, along with now more recently the DNA studies and telomere lengthening study. There's tons and tons of studies. It's just we've never had a way to get it. So we've never had a way to deliver it to patients properly. So therefore, as with anything, it was shelved. It was kind of just shelved because nobody had access to it. And it's very hard to recommend a supplement that you can't get into the body orally. Very few people are going to do it IV or intramuscularly. And the only other way we ever were able to get it was beta alanine, and you had to take um, it had a dose dependent response. So, I mean, if anybody who's taken a lot of beta alanine and gets the beta alanine tingles and get these neuropathies, and there's a limit to that dose. But this thing is going to be huge because nobody else has it. Okay, we own the patent to the delivery system, which is what makes it work, and that's why I think it's going to blow up within the next year to 2 years. Everybody will know about it from the sports standpoint. But medically, like I was saying, initially what we thought was going to, be the main market was athletes, which is going to be, it's still a huge market. But the majority of people that we've been seeing that it helps is going to be your 40, 50 plus year olds that go to bed and wake up with soreness. Like if something happened overnight that you didn't even know about, or you wake up with some kind of like twinge in your shoulder or your knee or your ankle, or things that we just can't get over. But I don't know a single 40, 50 plus year old person that doesn't have some sort of, it doesn't matter how healthy they are. If they're exercising, they have a tweak or a twinge or an itis, any kind of itis. They're going to have a tendonitis or a, arthritis or, some kind of itis, and it helps with all that. So, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of the future products that are being worked on, that we can couple with the Ethoderm to deliver to the tissue. Because again, the biggest thing is the delivery system, which is patented. But I think more and more people, when they start to understand it, it's actual no brainer. Anybody that actually is open as far as a practitioner, from a practitioner standpoint, anybody that is open and reads and knows how to read a study, like, it's a no brainer. It's an absolute no brainer. Like, and again, like I said, I always lead with a practitioner. I always lead with literally there's the risk benefit ratio is there. There's no concerns with any kind of interactions or any kind of contraindication, like people that can't use it. There's not a single person that can't use it.